Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Career Enhancement webcast for the Launchpad Associate Webinar Series. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We have Heather King, who's going to be taking us through Career Enhancement this afternoon. Heather, how are you today? Thanks for joining us on the Launchpad.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited. This is my first time doing this, so I'm really looking forward to it.
As are we. So for those of you that may or may not have joined us on the Launchpad before, Heather is going to take us through her PowerPoint presentation covering all the aspects of the Career Enhancement book for the GPTP PGM Level 1 Work Experience Kit. And as we go, we've got a relatively small classroom today. Chris Robertson, Nolan Skorenik, and Tyler Phillips, thank you very much for joining us. Nolan, I hope I didn't butcher your name too badly there. Since it's a smaller class today, we'll try and make it as interactive as possible. When Heather is done with her presentation, I will enable the three of you to have audio controls, and we could have a conversation about Career Enhancement. Ho Nguyen is also joining us. So go for it, Heather. It's all yours.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here, and welcome. So this is Career Enhancement. So let's see here. All right. Who am I? So my name is Heather King. I'm born and raised in San Diego. I've been in the golf business for over 15 years and decided to get into this business because I just love golf, and it's my passion, and I couldn't see myself doing anything else. So right after college, I started working at Coronado in the cart barn, and then just got into the program and slowly worked my way up to the pro shop and then booking tournaments. And I remember my boss, I was there like cleaning carts, and he comes up to me and says, "There's a lady in there that wants a golf lesson from a lady, and she's waiting on the range for you." And I've never given a golf lesson ever. So that was, you know, that's kind of how it goes sometimes. And it was, so I kind of like found out that I really like teaching. So here I am now teaching full time at Miramar. At Miramar, I'm running a bunch of different programs that you see here, like Junior League, Lpga, Girls Golf, Family Cup, which is just starting, that you guys should definitely look into. And we give free active duty clinic lessons and weekly instructions. And we also do PGA.Hope, which is for veterans, retired military. So I'm on this slide here. I put down some things that I did for myself to enhance my career. I'll go through a few of them, but if you haven't heard of PGA.Coach, that is like a game changer. It is awesome, and it shows you how to teach and gives you different lessons plans on how to teach, and definitely is a confidence booster when you're out there. So other things you can do is, or that I have done, is I definitely attend as many meetings and coaching summits that I can go to, or I listen into every Catalyst call Thursday morning. Playing in tournaments is great because you want to meet new people, and that's what all, you know, attending meetings do. Well, usually when it's not in COVID style. But I continue my education by after you guys get your Class A, you can specialize in something, and I'm doing that in teaching and coaching. So it just goes in depth more on what you want to specialize in. Let's see, and then also something that I think if you want to get into teaching, is I go out and I watch other golf professionals teach. I do try to do it twice a month, and that's probably the best I've learned on how to teach. So Let's see, I've ran for the board 3 times, haven't gotten it yet, but I think 4th time is a charm. And so let's see. Oh, and then lastly here at the end, you wanna, if you're gonna teach, you want to build an online presence. So if somebody searches golf lessons in San Diego, boom, I'm gonna pop up with my website that I created. I'm on Yelp, and then if you also to go through PGA.coach, you get put on there. They create a website for you, and you're on their platform. When they search for golf instruction, you're gonna pop up, and then of course social media. So let's see. Okay, so objectives for this is gonna be, I'm gonna go through every question of career enhancement in your actual portfolio, and go over what's in there, and then at the end, and then on the slides, there's going to be things in there to help you specifically with those questions. So let's go ahead and go on through here. So hang on real fast. Okay. All right. So career enhancement is different than getting like shot. Okay. So career enhancement is setting goals, building a diverse skill set, developing a career plan, and advancing in your career. So you setting goals and developing a career assessment. So be honest, what do you want to do? Basically, you got to figure out what you want to do. And I know that's like the hardest part sometimes, but forever I thought I wanted to be a head golf professional. I had a head pro that made it look really fun and easy. And then I went to another course and decided that, you know, it wasn't for me. I didn't want to go that route and decided to go the teaching route. So, you know, pick something that you want to do that you are passionate about. And then in your portfolio, it's going to ask you to prepare a SWOT analysis. So just like you did for your business analysis, and put in there, just fill it out, and that's going to help you figure out, you know, if that route is what you want to do. So here's different things that people look for when they're hiring. So I'm going to actually head on over. I want to pull up the portfolio here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, not what I wanted. All right, so let's go through this together. All right, so one of the things you're going to be doing is you're going to be interviewing a professional, someone that is Class A at your golf course, or, you know, somebody that you look up to that is kind of a mentor to you that may not be at your golf course, and you're going to ask them questions. So the first one, just briefly describe the supervising professional's career path progress. So basically you're just asking them, like, how did they get there? What did they do? What types of jobs did they have to go through to get where they are now? And then you want to come to this prepared with these questions. You can print this out, but you're going to want to have a notebook, you know, to write down all this stuff. So make it easy for you. Just put it right in there on the portfolio. So what were the supervising professionals' opinions of key knowledge, skills, experiences needed to succeed? so if you're gonna ask him this question, this is gonna be like, what did he have to do to get where he is? Like, what type of education programs he had to go through, or who did he learn this stuff from? If it was someone specific, like a person, or if he did all this on his own. But what steps did he take to get where he is now? Different than the first question, because the first question is what types of jobs was it? This is like, what has he learned along the way, or what helped him learn or get the experience that he has now? All right, number 3, describe at least 2 challenges the supervising professional described as he or she meets the expectations of his or her job. This is a good question. You know, we learn from our mistakes. So how did, you know, something that happened to him or her that made him better, that made him like, oh, don't want to do that again. I know one pro said that he learned that he never wants to hire a friend. You know, he had a bad experience with that. So that's just going to be up to that pro. That's also sometimes a good interview question. People ask you, you know, what challenges have you came across, and how did it make you better? What did you do to overcome it, and how did it make you better? So, all right. What specific feedback did you get about your preliminary personal development summary and goal plan? So I'm thinking you're going to ask them like, what specific feedback did you get about you? So you're going to ask them what your goal, you're going to tell them your goals and how you're going to get there and what you want to do, and talk to them about you for a little bit, not just ask them about them, and tell them what you want to do and how you want to get there, and this is your plan, and get feedback from him or her, and write it down, and then also on the second one, you're going to show them your resume, so have them look over it and see what they think, and write down what the different feedback they give you. So make sure you have that with you when you're meeting them, so you don't have to do it twice. Meet up with them 2 times. So describe 3 examples of how the information shared by the supervising professional can help you progress in the PGA program. Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory. One thing that I would say is that definitely ask questions. I will never say no to somebody that wants my help with their portfolio. I've done it many times, and it'd be very rarely if someone says no. And if they do, then just fine, move on. Ask them, call me, I'll help you. So, and then another one would be, you know, if you get stuck somewhere, like just come back to it, move on and go to something else. Just always try to just do a little bit more. So, all right, last one here. After reflecting on the interview, what 5 career or PGA, PGM program related questions would you like to ask at your next meeting? Okay, so, all right, so let's see here. Let's see, what would be one thing you could ask for your next meeting? You could come back with an easy one is like, okay, I went over the changes that you suggested on my resume. What do you think about these changes? And then, you know, if you have another question could be like, okay, from your feedback that you gave me about my career plans, what do you think about these new plans I created that I took your advice from? Something like that. Okay. All right. Activity 2. Refine a personal development summary and goal plan. Awesome. All right. So this is going to be different for everyone. I guess I'll just kind of go over what I would say for me. So my work experience area, I'm just going to put teaching. Okay. So interest, growing the game. So this is kind of like your why, like why are you doing this? So growing the game. I am, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I really like to help teach kids and women and beginners. I also definitely love teaching people with low handicaps or, you know, good players. But for some reason, like the beginners is fun for me because it's growing the game and trying to get them excited about playing golf. Interest, so interest in the swing, connecting with other coaches. I'm interested in playing, obviously, different drills, helping people. So, okay, some of my strengths, experience playing. I think strength is I always trying to learn new things, watch different people teach. I'm very positive in the lesson. Okay, weaknesses. This is always a tough one. Weaknesses is so it could be confidence. See, I can always get better at trying to make sure that people are just working on one specific thing instead of throwing like 3 or 4 different things at them at once. Communication with my students. I feel like I can always be better with them communicating or getting back to them on things like phone calls and stuff. Make sure I don't miss any calls. And then like the flow of the lesson, sometimes I struggle with like making sure I have everything there ready for me. Like, you know, if I'm right in the middle of telling somebody a drill and I don't have the alignment sticks with me, it like kind of messes up the flow. So that could like mess things up a little bit here. So, all right, development targets. So like basically in here, I'm gonna put down what I can do to make me better. So one thing is I can make sure that I'm watching other people teach, maybe have somebody watch me give a lesson and get their feedback on how I performed. I can learn different methods of teaching and try to have somebody that I look up to, a mentor, to help me grow and bounce ideas off of. One last thing is that I can have different tools available to help me teach, like video, or there's different apps and stuff that I could have. And also for weakness, like sometimes it might be that you don't have a internet presence, you're not on the web, you don't have a website, or you haven't done, you know, some certain certification. So over here you could be like, oh, I'm gonna do PGA.coach. Okay. All right. So next one is career goal plan. So I'm going to say my career goal is to become director of instruction. Okay. So some short-term things we could put down here is that I am going to obviously be at a facility and teach there. I'm going to create different program development programs, like I'm going to do junior league. I'm going to create a junior league. So a timeline would be now. I'm going to do that now. So I would just put down now on that side over here. And then Lpga Girls Golf. I'm going to start that program. I'm going to start that in May of this year to October of this year. So I'm going to watch somebody teach, and the timeline is twice a month. I'm going to do that for the next year. I'm going to get specialized in, well, you can also put down here, I'm going to complete my PGA program and try to put a little timeline there. I'm going to get specialized in teaching and coaching. Like, you don't have to do all 10, but so those are a few. See, do I have any more? Oh, yes. I am going to talk to my career consultant, counselor, and go over steps with him in the timeline that's going to be now. Okay. All right. So activity 3, update and submit a current resume. So I'm going to pull up my resume here. Oop. Okay. Here we go. Here's my resume. So in the portfolio, it kind of shows you how you want to have it, but definitely want to have your name on there and your contact information, just like a brief little summary about you, and then I have just like some brief little statements, that things that I'm good at, and my certifications there at the top, and then so my employment history. You want to start with the top being where you're at now, and then go down. As you go down, it's going to be, you know, the timeline. So you want what was longest right down there at the bottom. So my first job, well, I don't have my first job on here, but is Coronado is way down there. So it goes down. So Miramar's current, and then timeline goes down. So I can't find the word that I'm looking for that. But so a tip for your resume is you want to try to have something that like you can quantify, like measure. So like measure like you know, like measure an amount of money, or how many people were there, or revenue you brought in, or something that you can like see and like, this is what I accomplished. And it's like, so like for instance, right here right now, so in 2020, my lesson revenue was 33,000. Okay. I did the same thing again here in when I worked at Perm Golf Academy. Also, I did some, like in there, it says 8 hours a day. For 1 week, I had 8 hours a day. I had 16 to 24 kids. If you go down to where I was in 2017 and 2019 at JC Resorts, I got an award there. So I was Assistant Golf Professional of the Year. Boom, that's a great resume builder. Any certifications that you did, put them in there. Any programs that you did, put them in there, like, and try to put like how many you had and how much money did you make raise for your facility, or like why you're trying to say like these are things I did and this is why you want to hire me, pretty much. So also too, people look for like, you know, what have you done for other PGA associates or members? So like I could put this in here, or I have helped other apprentices get their become elected to membership. So, and then you want to have your education at the bottom here. You want to have your education and things that you're at. So you should screenshot this and use this as a reference, or there's a lot of other really good ones out there. That's what I've done. People that I look up to, I've asked for their resume, and I've, you know, like just took things from what I thought were good off their resume. So you want to try to have it on one page. I think that's still the requirement. I do see 2 pages sometimes, but I always heard it should just be 1 page and try to keep it short and sweet. And as my grandpa said, you want to get the meat out of spaghetti. All right, so we'll go back over here to the slide. Where are you? Yeah, all right. So what we've learned, so selling yourself. This is like all things that you're going to put down in your strengths section. So things that you want to do, and how are you going to get there to do it? So, and then we covered this resume section here. All right. So here are just some more recommendations when you are interviewing your supervisor or other pros. Just be comfortable, and just don't be afraid to reach out, because, like, again, put yourself in their shoes. If somebody reached out to you, you would be more than happy to help them, and it's cool when somebody will ask you like to do this with them. So but just make sure that that person is a golf pro. It's not like food and beverage manager, or, you know, a starter or something like that. You want to ask a pro, somebody that's been through this, and that has this experience. So okay, so all right, so refine your personal development summary and goal plan. You want to, so just like you did in the business plan, you want your goals to be SMART, so specific. They have to have a time limit, and something like that you can specifically do. So all right, so for your goal plan, you don't just say you want to be a better, so I wouldn't say I want to be a better teacher, right? I want to have something specific that I kind of went over with you that I'm going to put in these things. So here's some examples. Attend a coaching summit, which was today, actually, the virtual. I don't know if you guys watched it or not. I'm going to create 2 new teaching network contacts in the next quarter. Let's see, maybe watch other professionals teach. Okay. That was for your goal plan, how you're going to reach your goal. So here are some things that the PGA has put out, some resources that you guys can use that are seriously awesome. And I would say the best one is getting in contact with your career consultant. I went to a conference for people who won the Assistant Golf Professional of the Year award in Florida, and a few different career consultants were there to speak to us, and they said that, you know, you got to get in contact with us, because first, they, you know, they're the ones there that, like, if there's a job opening up, I'm going to call the career consultant and be like, hey, do you know of anybody looking for this job? And if you have a relationship with them, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I know Heather at Miramar. She's looking for that director of instruction position. And he knows that I'm looking for that position. And he has helped me do different steps. Like, oh, yeah, she did. These were the plans that I went over with her to help get that job, or to help her, you know, be ready for that job. So there's a career, that's just one, down the list here. So career development manual, the career seekers toolkit is awesome. They have so many different things on there, like how you can act, what to say in an interview, or how to build a resume or a cover letter. They have examples that you can go off of that are PGA approved. They have different case studies, the global career page, and revenue score. So it's the revenue scorecard is a PGA tool to show your impact to your employee and data you can cite about your performance when you're seeking new positions. So it's almost like a little resume builder on things that you just fill it out and you have it ready to show anyone or to show your employer on things that you've done, which is really cool. They didn't. Okay, so this is a career. So I've already went over this with you guys, the career consultant. So Ken Farrell is our career consultant. He's at the section, and he's helped me with my resume. So if you set up a time to meet with him, you can send him your resume and he can look over it for you. Like if you're trying to apply for a job, you can send him your resume and cover letter, and he can help you make sure that that looks correct. He can help you plan with the planning process for your career goals for your next 10 years. This is like what they do. They helped me with mine. So like right here, so I want to become director of instruction. He can tell you what you need to know or what type of experience you need to be qualified in that position. And he's the first to know about job opening positions, so you can just be ahead of the game before they post it. And then they talk to them about your skill set, be honest with him and yourself. And so let's say I'm in my dream job. I'm still in touch with him because he can help me become better at my job so that I can show my value to my current employer. Okay, so all right, so yeah, get a hold of Ken. He can help you with this part of your portfolio for sure. Okay, so here are some things for your resume that I kind of already went over. But I did not say though this, so you only have 20 to 30 seconds to get the reader's attention. So make sure that that's at the top. That's the first part they read. And just make sure you're keeping it up to date so that like if you have a job opening coming up, that you don't have to spend like an hour or two to update it. Just kind of keep it on hand whenever you need it. All right. So, I'm gonna end with just kind of what I've done to kind of grow in this section. I love asking other pros their story and how they got where they are. I just sometimes think it's fascinating to hear their story and what they've done and maybe some of the similarities we have, because when I ask them these questions, they're gonna remember me and remember who I am and think, oh, that girl, like, she seems to care. So, and, you know, so next time I see them, it's a way to build friends. So, or connections. I try to get involved in as many things as I can. And if I don't know what's going on or if there's anything coming up, I'm like in contact with Anthony Leon for Junior Golf, with Junko. She's our PGA Junior League and PGA Family Cup for the whole section. She runs all of that. She's a manager for that. With Nikki Gatz, I even sometimes email Tom because I see him at tournaments sometimes, like, if what's going on, like what can I help with, what committees can I be involved with. I'm always like trying to find out different things I can do to help me build my resume and get more involved. And at some point, because I do want to run for the board, help me get that position that I want. So, and then also I play in a lot of different events too. But yeah, the more things you do, the more times people will see your name and they'll be like, oh, I've seen your name. I know who you are. And then they'll think about you for that next job opening or whatever. So when you're challenging yourself to improve, your impact and engagement increases, and that makes you more valuable. That growth helps you in your current job until you're ready to leave on your own terms for your next job. So that's like one of the best things you can do is just leave a job on your own terms for your dream job. So this module is probably one of the easiest, but it's probably one of the most important because it's for your future and your lifelong development in this industry. So not just your next job, but like long term, like where do you want to be? Like where, like in a perfect world, where would you see yourself at the end of all of this? So utilize all the resources the PGA has for you. That's why you're getting this membership, is so that you can use what they have. Take advantage of it. Get a hold of Ken, and then just develop a plan. Know that it will be modified constantly, but start. So develop a plan for your career, and it will change, but at least you have a plan and different steps that you can take to get there. If you don't, you're just going to procrastinate. So keep attending these webinars, ask questions, and get moving. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening in, and hopefully that was helpful with your guys' portfolio and getting this making a check mark on this section.
Very good, Heather. Heather, that was fantastic. Very thorough. You touched all the bases. Excellent presentation. Chris, Poe, Justin, Holisi, and Nolan. I've enabled you guys to have audio. We're going to open it up to questions at this time, and we'd like to hear from you guys.
So
and once again,
I'm sorry.
So Chris, go for it.
I was going to say I don't really have a question. I just did want to tell Heather thank you, because I currently I was at Oakmont in Glendale for 5 years, and unfortunately during the pandemic I lost my position. So I'm trying to find another assistant position, and you know, there's some information in here that I think will help me. And as silly as it...
Wait, what was that?
Sorry, Chris, I muted you on accident. Go ahead.
That's okay. I was just saying, as silly as it sounds, it never even like crossed my mind to get a hold of Ken during this process. So I will immediately do that. I will immediately do that.
Definitely
So, but yeah, so not so much a question, just to thank you for the information, and obviously it'll help me push this forward and find a new position. So.
Yeah, and if there's anything I can do to help too, like if you want me to look at your resume or whatever, you know, I'd be happy to help.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
Like so many things, like so many things in this world, you hear the phrase, "It's not what you know, it's who you know," but that's kind of a cop out for in a lot of ways, it's a cop-out, throwaway comment that kind of dismisses any notion of hard work. The first thing I think of when people say that to me is, oh, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Oh, that means it's completely out of my hands because I don't know anybody. So I have all this education. It does me no good because, as it turns out, I need to. It's who I know and not what I've learned. That's completely devoid of the energy that needs to go into your own career enhancement. And when it boils down to it, career enhancement is so grounded in sales. I mean, everything that we do. You look at the PGM the three career path diversifications that we've rolled out in the last couple of years with teaching and coaching, or golf operations, or executive leadership. All of them are sales. It's just you're selling something different, and you're selling things at different rates and at different times. But when it comes down to it, you're selling yourself. And when you're selling yourself, that attitude, that's really how you get to know the people you need to know to make that statement true. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, it's the who you know is based on how well you sold yourself and how much energy you put into growing your network. You know, unless you're a famous person's offspring, that's the action, that's the do. You know, that's the what needs to take place in order for you to grow that network. You need to put yourself out there. You need to make yourself available. And for me, you know, I'm happy with where my career is, and you know, I love what I'm doing, and I love where I work. And I got to this position in my career when I started to focus on the element of what I was selling. And it's like the definition of sales is solving someone's need, want, or problem, or solving something's need, want, or problem. And in my career and in my employment, when I started to take that selfless attitude towards my employer, when I started to take that selfless attitude towards my own career enhancement, that's when things started to happen. Because there does need to be a selfless attitude towards your own career enhancement. Even though you're putting you're trying to develop your own career, and you're trying to develop your own resume, and you're trying to develop your own next job on the way to your dream job, those are selfless in the sense of it's not for you, it's for your career. So it's really it's really a different entity from that standpoint. So I thought Heather, you touched on a wealth of things, and you said it's like, yes, it is probably the easiest level of the level 1 PGM work experience kit, but the reason why it's easiest is because it's really all on you.
Yep, that's true.
Any other questions? Ho, it looks like you have your hand up. Ho, do you want to, Ho Nguyen, can you enable your audio?
Yes, now I can get now.
There you go.
Hi, thank you for this section. Motivate me to go back to study. Due to the COVID, put me down a little bit, but I get motivated by this section, and thanks for all that. My question is, I'm at the level 1 right now. Can I start teaching? I had a motivation of teaching, but can I do it legally?
I'm sorry, Ho, one more time on the question.
Can I start to teaching a lesson?
Teaching lessons.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you have a venue and you have a forum and you have permission to be there by the people that, by the entities that own that teaching facility, then you can teach.
I see.
The sustainability of that teaching, of course, is predicated on, the quality of your instruction and your ability to market yourself and your ability to communicate those principles to the students. And of course, having the approval of the proprietor, of course. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that answer my question, because my career, I want to get some teaching, But if I don't start to teaching now, so how can I get teaching later? You know, I had no skill, no experience. That's my question.
Oh, well, if you haven't taught, then you need to reach out to instructors in your area and ask if you can watch them teach. I don't know any PGA professionals that wouldn't be welcoming to the idea of you reaching out to them and asking if you can make a study of their instruction. And, you know, to do that across a wide variety of individuals over time, and of course, reading books, and I mean, that's how you do it.
What city are you in?
Yes.
What city are you in?
Fountain Valley, Orange County.
Orange County, yeah. I mean, if you want to come down to San Diego, I'd be happy to help you. If you want to come watch me teach.
And Ho, I could.
I will.
I could put you. I could introduce you digitally to 3 or 4 PGA instructors that are in your, 10-mile radius that would be happy to allow you to make a study of their instruction.
Oh, that's perfect. I did reach out. I reached out to the local for the teaching the kid junior, but right now at the COVID, they not operate, so I haven't seen anybody answer my question. That I just want to be volunteer. Especially
Sure.
I written out on I forget the name at the Strawberry Farm. They had that junior program going on. I just say I want volunteer 2 days a week. That's all I need to get my experience. But nobody.
That's very good. Yeah, Ho, I will after the webinar here this evening. I'll look at my my contacts within a 10-mile radius of Fountain Valley, and I can get you hooked up with some instructors that you can go and learn from and watch them teach live students.
Thank you.
With
Awesome.
That's going to get easier and easier to do now as we move out of COVID and more people are becoming vaccinated and the herd immunity and all that. Things will start returning to normal here. Optimistically speaking, very soon. Justin, Nolan, you guys have a question or comment, statements to be made? If I could kind of make a closing statement, and once again, thank you so much, Heather, for taking the time to put this together. You sharing your fresh expertise is priceless, and the whole purpose of the Launchpad is to part and parcel provide that connection with people that have gone through the program, and not only gone through the program, but gone through the program recently. And for all of you on the Launchpad this afternoon, Heather and myself are here for you in that way. We are available mentors, and we're here to help in any way that we can. That's the whole focus of the Launchpad.
Yeah.
So in a parting comment that I have to kind of highlight career enhancement is, when you do determine what it is that you want to do, whether it's executive leadership or if it's operations in the form of a director of golf or head golf professional, or if it's teaching and coaching, the idea is to try to find a way to solve that person or that entity or that club's need, want, or problem. And that attitude and that approach, it's a selfless approach. And if you could stay on that side of the presentation, more times than not, those are the people that get hired. More times than not, those are the people that excel. It's the ones that try to conduct themselves as selflessly as possible, whether it's teaching individuals or if it's running a golf department at a golf course, or whether or not it's running the entire facility. If you could put that other entity, whether it's your student or your golf club or your golf shop, if you could put that first ahead of your own selflessness, and be as consistent as possible in that, because of course, we're human beings. Selfishness is part of our DNA, and we need to do everything that we can to be as selfless as possible, even to just to be a little bit. That's where we're going to experience the most amount of success. That's where we're going to see things taking off. But it's not just the who you know, not what you know. It's how selflessly you're willing to dedicate yourself to growing your career, growing that network, learning new things, and staying the course and not giving up. I've seen over the years, so many talented associates and assistant professionals come up that had all the tools, had everything in the toolbox, but they just didn't have the fortitude to stick it out. They went hard and they went all in for 2 or 3 or 4 years, 5, 6 years even, and then ultimately, gave up on it. And that's the difference. You look at the people that are successful in this business, they're the people that have the fortitude to selflessly not give up, fighting for their students, fighting for their club, fighting for their own growth, and letting that selfishness take a back seat. As hard as that is, it's much easier said than done, and nobody struggles with it more than myself. But that's really it in a nutshell. And again, thank you everybody for joining us on the Launchpad this afternoon. Heather, thank you very much for putting this presentation together. And if there are no final questions or statements, we are going to conclude this afternoon's Launchpad. We're going to be going again next Monday, 4 o'clock, same time. We're going to upload Heather's presentation to YouTube. I'm going to send out a little email digitally, publicly thanking Heather for her time and getting you guys the link to Heather's presentation on YouTube, which is also going to make its way to the Launchpad landing page on the section website. Thank you very much for your support. I do not see anybody unmuting at this time, so I think that is going to do it for us. Once again, Heather, on behalf of the Education Committee for the Southern California PGA, thank you very, very much for your time and expertise today. For all the Launchpad attendees, thank you very much for your support. We hope to see you next Monday, and something comes up along the way, feel free to reach out. We are here not just on this forum on Mondays from 4 to 5, but we are here, Tom Sun, Tom Parker, and myself, and Heather, and the other instructors. We're here at any time that you need us. Thank you very much, everybody. Stay safe, stay sane.
Thanks, John. Bye.